Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspire Leadership Academy, where science and leadership come together to inspire you. Have you ever asked yourself, how do some teams who don't have the best talent, may not even have the best tools, strategies, or even techniques, sometimes can outperform teams who do? Much has been studied about teams that are functional and what makes team work, and how can you get team members motivated to actually do their best and to work together to be productive. A lot has been written on it, a lot has been studied. There's one particular person that has really looked into this that has found some very interesting results from it. His name is Patrick Lencioni, and he talks about it in his book called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. And basically, his premise is that what he has found over the years of working with teams is that there are 5 levels of dysfunction that, if are not dealt with within a team, will actually cause a team to underproduce or cause a team to not basically work at the level or the maximum level that it really can work at. So what I want to do is take you through each one of the levels very quickly. We're not going to go into much detail, but I want to tell you a little bit about it so that you know how it works and what it all means. Level number 1 is the absence of trust. That is at the foundation of every team. Basically, what Patrick Lencioni is saying is that if your team members cannot trust each other at that basic level, they can't trust each other to have each other's back, to help each other out, then they're not going to seek each other out for help when they need the help. And they're not going to trust each other to work hand in hand to be able to get to the end result that they need to be able to get to. So in other words, there's going to be a lot of just elbowing each other, vying for position, trying to outdo each other, just a lack of trust, a lot of conflict going on, unhealthy conflict going on in the team. So that's just at the foundation. Level 1 is an absence of trust. If there's an absence of trust, then you can't get to level 2. Level 2 is lack of conflict. So that looks like, for a team to be able to function effectively, the team members need to be able to have open discussion, have differing of opinions. All the opinions need to be able to be laid out on the table, discussed openly, to be able to come to the best conclusion. A team who's failing or does not have the absence or doesn't have trust are not able to have clear and open discussion. So they have lack of conflict, which is level 2. And that lack of conflict then leads to the level 3, which is a lack of commitment. One of the things that Patrick Lencioni says is that it is the open discussion and the contribution by team members that creates the commitment by team members to be able to move forward. But if you don't have the trust, you don't have the open discussion, you have lack of conflict or healthy conflict, and then the result is the 3rd level, which is you have a lack of commitment. And what that looks like is you have a team that's not really functioning like a team. Everyone's kind of pulling in their own direction because there is no commitment to the final result, because of the fact that there wasn't the open discussion, there was the lack of conflict, because there wasn't trust in the members. Now, if there isn't a lack of commitment, then you go to level 4, the 4th level, where you have a lack of accountability. So you have a lack of commitment. Everyone's just kind of pulling in their own direction. They are not necessarily going towards the same goal. They're not committed to it as a team. So imagine, if you will, a rowing team. And if you look at a rowing team, like a professional rowing team, they're all rowing in the same direction. Can you imagine that rowing team, everybody rowing in a different direction? They're not going to get anywhere. And so that's what it looks like when there's a lack of commitment. Everyone is just kind of pulling in their own direction. They're not really going to get anywhere. They're not going to get to their goal. That lack of commitment then goes to level 4, which creates a lack of accountability. A lack of accountability is that where you really need a team to hold each other accountable. That's what really makes a functional team, where you don't necessarily and always have just the top leader holding everybody else accountable. That's part of the equation, but it's not all. You become much more effective when you have team members that are holding each other accountable. But you don't have that if you don't have a commitment, You don't have commitment if you don't have open discussion and contribution by everyone. You don't have open discussion and contribution if you don't have trust. Now, if you have a lack of accountability, then the last dysfunction is you don't have an attention to results. So no one's holding each other accountable. No one's telling each other, that they need to help each other out so that they can get to the final result. And the last one is nobody's looking at results. So they get to the deadline, whatever happens, happens. Nobody's looking back and saying, well, what worked, what didn't work, how can we make this better? Or not even doing some of those checks along the way so that they can course correct. None of that is happening. So as you see, the 5 levels of this function build on each other and ultimately create a team that is unproductive, a team that's not working together. There's a lot of unhealthy conflict, a lot of lack of commitment, no accountability, no trust, and last of all, no attention to results. And the end result ends up being a team that underperforms constantly. The opposite is true. A team where there is trust, where there is an open environment for discussion and healthy conflict, where there is commitment, where there is accountability, and there is a focus on results. That team ends up outperforming other teams. Even if they don't have the best talent, they can still outperform other teams that have the talent because they're really focusing and working as a team. By the way, guys, we have an entire workshop around this concept where we allow you and we walk you through assessing and evaluating where you are. Where is your team in that pyramid? And where do you need to start? And not only will we help you assess it and evaluate, then we actually give you specific strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use for your particular situation to begin to build a cohesive team, break down the dysfunctional patterns, replace them with functional patterns, and begin to really, really maximize and work at your full potential. Hey guys, thanks again for watching this video, and I hope it's been helpful for you. Until next time, bye.